What is up, fellas? I'm gonna go over a little bit of a trade recap today. This week was honestly pretty rough for me. Ended up taking one loss, one break even, and then I actually did end up this week profitable, just because of this trade today. Um, Honestly, I'm happy with how I traded this week. I'm a little disappointed because I didn't trade Thursday, and Thursday actually did have a good long setup. But this week was super choppy, and on Monday, we look at Monday actually. Monday we saw price just run away. Tuesday we were choppy. Again, was this Wednesday? Just no good setup again. And then again Thursday super choppy. But there was a long setup here actually for me, but choppy again nonetheless. So for me, I honestly didn't even want to trade today, just because this is like again, this is just super choppy price action compared to what we had last week. Super slow. But there was this absolute A plus setup that I did see on gold, so I had to take it. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna go over this recap because like this is I don't know, this trade is beautiful. I honestly wish I risked more, but it's okay just because market conditions weren't great. But this is an A plus setup all the time. So I'm just gonna kind of go over the setup and my thought behind it. So well, first of all, overnight actually, well not even overnight, it's 7 a.m. So about so yeah, 7 a.m. Eastern. We did have this massive dump due to some sort of tariff talk, right? So when price does this big dump, we do expect to see a retrace, right? But we don't know where to exactly. We can imagine just somewhere in this fair value gap, whether it's equilibrium or something like this, right? Something along the lines here. But for me, the risk to reward's not great, and the setup probability also isn't great, just because we're playing for the pullback and not for the actual continuation downwards. But I did use this whole sell off as a confirmation for our gold trade. Reason why is when we see price sell like this, gold is usually a hedge against big moves in the stock market, at least to the downside. So when we see Nasdaq sell off like this, we actually see gold pump up, right? When we come into market open, right around here, right, we see this hourly candle come into this 1 hour fair value gap, right? So I'm not going to mark it out, but it's right here. This big 1 hour fair value gap. We also see a clear uptrend right here, right? We're creating these higher highs and higher lows. We see that reaction come off of this high getting swept, and we see that reaction down into this fair value gap where we can see price manipulate and go higher. That being said, we do see price right when market opened right here, right? We see price end up dumping, taking out this low, right? For me, I was still waiting for an entry, just because I like to see a better liquidity sweep like this. Also just because we didn't have a really good shift of structure here. We were still holding this fair value gap bullish, right? So I would have thought about entering here if this fair value gap entered inverse or vice versa. But for me, I actually waited a little bit longer, and then we had here a great eternal manipulation right here, and we see this inverse fair value gap put into place. That's where I enter my trade. Put my stops right here, right where the manipulation was. Um, the take profit for me, honestly, I wanted up here. Just because we are in this 1 hour trend, right? Let me delete this. And our next low resistance liquidity is up here. But market did start slowing down because it is a Friday, so the weekend's coming up. We can expect a lot of traders to just get out of the market later in the day at least. But yeah, so we saw price come down, internal manipulation into a 5 minute, 30 minute, hourly fair value gap. All these fair value gaps, right? Internal manipulation, we close above an inverse fair value gap, and then we take our entry. And then we do have low resistance liquidity right here, right? So we have reason why price should go up. We had reason why price should go down to this zone because we had liquidity built up here. We had reason for price to reverse here. We had a fair value gap, internal manipulation, and then we do have a change in our trend here just because we are now bullish after this fair value gap is closed inverse, right? And then I did end up I mean I entered a little less here. I think I ended with three contracts, and then I entered with a fourth one here, right? So that was extra confirmation for me. And then if we look at this trade, it does just play out perfectly. It was a little slow, but for me, I'm just holding this all the way through. Right. And then later, price finally comes up and takes out this high. Super long trade. There it is. Right. So price finally took out this high. Now eventually it was 130. You don't really expect to see much more volume on a Friday like that. So we are out of the trade there. Right. So when the markets are in great conditions, it is important to take only good setups. And it's also important to manage our risk well, right? So for today, I put my stops at break even the moment this 5 minute candle closed, right? Because at this point, I don't even want to I don't want to lose the trade, right? And just because we have been super choppy, I'm trying to manage my risk well. I think I did a good job this week. One loss and one break even honestly isn't bad, and then actually one win, which since we had a good risk to reward, and I did risk slightly more here than I did on that loss, so we did end up net positive this week around $2,000. So yeah, that's kind of just something I want you guys to focus on is to just because market conditions have been pretty crazy recently. So just try to remain positive. It's part of the journey to have shitty weeks like this. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, please join the free Discord. The link will be in the strip in the description. And if not, just leave a comment and I'm just here to help you guys out. Anyways, take care, guys.